Welcome home, family and fellow citizens of the African Order. I'm here with another video, and the topic of this conversation is, if ignorance is bliss, what do you call this? It's one thing being in an environment that you don't know your surroundings. You don't know what's going on about you. And you're just walking through living life unaware. It's something totally different when you have caused all the negative impact in people's lives. You were the result of it. And then speak on it as if you had nothing to do with it. This is exactly what happens every time I listen to the news, watch these stories on Facebook, Instagram, wherever social media is at. And I'm like, these people speak as if they don't know what caused these afflictions. Now, what exactly am I talking about? It's a story on Facebook now that's circulating through social media where this homeless guy is sitting in a Starbucks. He want a cup of ice water, and this white guy's in there, and he was like, "No, no, 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 get whatever you want." And he said, okay, "Can I get a coffee?" He said, "Sure, sure, get whatever you want. It's all you. We've all been there before." So then he said, get a sandwich, get an egg sandwich." After this video is over, I read the comments, and people are saying this, put faith in humanity. There's still good people out here. Um, One woman said the video made her cry. Well, me and her we was lockstep, because when I watched that video, it made me cry. It made me cry because here I see a grown man in a Starbucks and don't even have enough money to buy a coffee. All he wants is to put something on his stomach, so he's gonna get ice water. Probably drink the water now, eat the ice later. And all it takes is one white guy to come up here and so-called save him. But this white guy did nothing to change the condition of this man. This guy gonna be right back hungry and thirsty again in a matter of hours. You know, if I had a wife and she stayed with me 35 years, I didn't educate her. She had no job skills. Only thing she did was serve me in the bedroom, serve me in the kitchen, and did my laundry. And you seen her just as happy as can be. What am I really? How would you view me? See, it's not like I educated her. She got job skills, degrees. She's able to function on her own. And then she chose to be with me. The only way I'm gonna keep this woman with me if I give her no skills, no ability to say, you know what, I could do better somewhere else. It could be a fountain of opportunities out here in the world. But knowing that you have not been equipped to take advantage of it, if I put you out, you be begging to come back in. This is what happens to a lot of black people. Too many of them. They're sitting up here homeless, broke, just waiting for somebody to put a dime or a quarter in their cup. And that's all you got to see somebody do, and you think that's kindness. But what's sad about it is when you look at people like this and you think about all the black communities that was in existence, the Black Wall Streets, the Black Bottoms in Detroit, Greenwood, Florida, all the black communities in this country. Do you think this person would be homeless in a Starbucks begging for coffee if just maybe a few miles down the road was a black town that maybe could help him? These same white people, they go out there and they tear down this man's alternative to where he's at now. They destroyed him and then turn around and say, we all been there before. We ain't never been there before. You ain't never been enslaved for 300 years, robbed of your culture, your heritage, your language. And then as soon as you release, you working for the same people who oppressed you. We ain't never been in the same situation. When your people went off and built towns and communities to live outside the boundaries of your oppressor, black people came and burnt it down and forced you back in. You ain't never been in our position. You know, and every time I talk to my people about this to correct our situation, we got to come together. And they keep, well, but there is no but. We are living in the but now. Every excuse as to why we can't, we're living in it now. High interest rate, you got school loans, $200,000. You know, every time you turn around, there's some kind of hurdle you got to leap, jump, and for what? Because we can't do anything outside the boundaries of whites. And it makes me think, if whites thought of a way for society to live, if you got a group of blacks that thought of a way for society to live, do you think we would come up with the same conclusion? Do you think the same means would exist in the black community and the white community? When you have as many people as you have right now that's living homeless, how many does it take before somebody say, you know, these people deserve an alternative? If it was 90% people living in prosperity out of 300 million, that still would leave you 10 million people, 15 million people that's living impoverished. How many people does it take for you to say these people deserve a viable social alternative? To me, if these people were to establish their own, even though you would have 90% of the people living lavishly, these white devils would still go over here and destroy the 10% that's doing something different from them, because they know whatever this 10% is doing, it's going to be based off of what they couldn't do here. And if the other 90% got wind of what they were doing, some of them will start going over here. Because you've never in the history of life seen a brand new store open up and charge you more than the existing store. You've never seen a bank open up and charge you higher interest rates than the bank across the street. You ain't never seen that. They always come in lower. Do you think that these white devils is going to sit up here and watch you build a community and offer lower rates, better way of life, more affordable, and they don't come over there and destroy it? Of course they will. That's why we can't build. No, that's exactly why you can build, and this time defend it. You know, when you sit up here, I'm sitting up here listening to Stephanie Rule talking about the vaccine. You know, well, if you don't want to get vaccinated, then nobody's forcing you to. Just go out and start your own businesses. You know, educate your own kids, and these are all the things that you stopped us from doing in the first place. So now that the COVID is here, so now they want you to stop what you're doing, stop working for who you're working for, go out, finance your own business, build it up, and all this stuff. There's an African proverb. is battlefield is a poor place to build your defense. Once you win the fight, you can't start thinking about building your defense while you're in the fight. You got to think about this before you get into the fight. But this is an example of how far removed we are from our African proverbs, our culture, our heritage, the things that we taught each other that was passed down from generation to generation. Then you have Joy Reid sitting up here talking about some Nicki Minaj. You got 22 million followers, and you're telling them not to get vaccinated? How are you you got this? That's a blessing to have this many followers, and you're telling your own people not to get vaccinated. Look, you think Nicki Minaj got 22 million followers with the sole purpose to inform them negatively, to betray them? Do you know how much money you can make off of 22 million followers? But because Nicki Minaj is telling her people not to follow Whitey, Joy Reid got a problem with this. At what point do you stop listening to the Joy Reids and the Whitey? When they freed you from slavery, they made it a law that you couldn't even be on the streets without a job. Then, when they arrested you for not having a job, they implemented a prisoner lease program where they could lease the prisoners back to the same plantation that they came from, which means that many of the prisoners that they arrested didn't even get to spend the night in jail. As soon as they arrested, they sent them right back to the plantation. I can go on and on and on about the deceptive practices that whites have perpetrated against blacks over the history of time. And nothing has been as they described. And we keep using excuses to stay within their control. But every time I hear an excuse, I see a reason for us to do exactly the opposite of what whites want us to do. Before I leave this message, let me say this. It's not enough for us to just sit back and think about what we could be doing. We gotta start at some point to start doing what we're not accustomed to do. Because it's not enough for us to just sit back and rely on what whites can do for us. We got to start thinking about what we can do for ourselves. I'm going to end this video here. And if you like this message, please share it. And if you like this content, consider subscribing to this channel. And with this video, as with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. And I see you in my next message. Ashe.